All right. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm excited to join with you today. I'm going to try something new today. Some of you who have been following me for a while on LinkedIn or Instagram, Facebook, wherever you tend to social media, maybe you've noticed that I like to read a lot of books. Actually, it's always been something of mine that I've done, but the last few years I've really tracked more and more and been intentional with the types of books I'm reading. So to put that in perspective, here's an idea. I put a goal in how many books I wanted to read in a year. Now, you know that somebody's serious about a habit or something that you're doing when you put a goal around. A goal has an end date. It has a measurable. You might use the word SMART to think through what goals you want to create. There's lots of great tools about goal setting. But here's the first one. Whenever you set a goal, it means that you're serious about it. And I'm really serious about reading books because I'm a serious learner. It's actually who I am. I don't just read books, I'm a learner, and learners read books. There's a lot in there if you've read if you've read Atomic Habits or you've read other books around identity. Essentially, who you are helps you achieve what you want to do. Because it's not just a behavioral mindset, it's an internal change that is going on inside of you when you're making a goal. So if you're saying, hey, like I set goals or New Year's resolutions and I didn't get past January, could it be that actually you were trying to change a behavior rather than an identity? Go back and say, what did you want to do? I wanted to lose weight. Cool, awesome. You put in a goal, I want to lose 20 pounds. Awesome. So what are you going to do that? Oh, well, I'm going to maybe work out, or I'm going to eat less, or I'm going to watch my diet, or I'm going to eat better foods, right? There's lots of ways to go about doing that. But the only thing that will keep you on that path to reach your goal is not the things that you do, but the person you become. The person you become does those things. So let's put it in perspective here. And I read this from a book, it was probably Daniel Pink's book on motivation. But James Clear writes about it too in Atomic Habits. The idea is this. Let's say you're trying to quit smoking. You're addicted, nicotine has got you, you're smoking a couple packs a day, whatever that looks like for you. There are two types of people that work on breaking that habit. One of them succeeds. And it's all in the response when you're in the process and somebody asks you, hey, do you want to smoke with me? So here's two answers. One answer is somebody says, actually, I'm trying to quit. I'm trying to stop doing that. That's one response. The other response is, no, I don't smoke anymore. Now that might seem like semantics, but actually it's a very huge pivot, a critical pivot in the identity of this person. One person is trying to quit and the other person says, I don't smoke anymore. What you're saying is that who I am is trying to stop doing that. I'm a smoker who's trying to quit. Well, smokers smoke, right? The other person says, oh, I don't smoke anymore. Who I am doesn't smoke anymore. I don't do that. I'm not trying to. I'm not changing the behavior. I'm actually, who I am doesn't do that anymore. That's the critical difference between those who succeed in their goals and their habits than those who don't. Try it for yourself. But that's not what I was trying today. Talking about books. So I thought maybe I could take some time to share about books that I'm reading, some content that I'm consuming, and share it with you because I need to practice sharing. I want to grow in speaking. I want to be better at communicating. And so why not do that in the safety of my own office where there's nobody and then share it and see what happens. So today I'm going to talk about this book here. It's called Hero on a Mission. My autofocus took it out of focus over here. You can see that. Hero on a Mission is by Donald Miller. It was written in 2022. And really what I love about this book is that it's an invitation into Donald Miller's life from before he was on mission and what that life looked like to where he's at now, creating an incredible business, empowering others, engaging in political activities, whatever he's doing now, and really building a business that he's at like 17 million this year, which is pretty great from only a couple 100,000 a few years ago. But what I love about this book, and as I share these things, I'll share some ideas and some topics, but a lot of his content is about being a hero. It's about being the hero of your story, or if you've read StoryBrand, helping your customer be the hero. But if you want to help others be a hero, you yourself, you've got to work on your own mission, becoming your own hero. And when I read this book, there's a lot of great practical tools. There's a lot of great information about writing your own eulogy. If that kind of freaks you out a little bit, it's really powerful stuff to understand. Where do you want to end with, right? Stephen Covey said, start with the end in mind. Why not write your eulogy? And then every day you're like, that's the man I want to become, right? Again, creating who you want to be, and then taking the steps to do that. Then you work backwards and you say, okay, how do I get there in 10 years? Not die in 10 years, but right, like, what's your 10-year goal? What's your 5-year goal, 1-year goal? And then how do you take every single day and prioritize statements? It's very practical, which I really appreciate. But I want to maybe read something that, for me specifically, really helped me. And I was thinking about it this morning in my own writing, in my own quiet time. And I want to share it with you because it matters. And I think you'll appreciate it. So this is the very beginning of the book, chapter 1, sentence 1. Living a meaning-filled story does not happen by accident. In fact, living a good story is a lot like writing one. When we read a great story, we don't realize the hours of daydreaming, planning, fits, and false starts that we into the reader may experience as a clean line of meaningful action. Stories can be fun to write and fun to live, but the good ones take work. Whether we like it or not, the lives we live are stories. Our lives are a beginning. They have a middle and an end. Inside those 3 acts, we play many different roles. We are brothers and sisters, sons, daughters, mothers and fathers, teammates, lovers, friends, and so much more. For many of us, the stories we live feel meaningful, interesting, and perhaps even inspired. For others, life feels as though the writer has lost the plot. All of this begs the question, though, who is writing our stories? Is God writing our stories? Is fate writing our stories? Is the government or our boss or our church writing our stories? I heard an interview with a physicist who espoused the possibility that our stories actually don't exist in time at all, and that they have not yet started and are already done at the same time, or rather in the absence of time. Perhaps this is true, but even if it is, I'm not sure how it helps me enjoy life any more or less. The truth is, we all have to live this life and experience it within the confines of time, and I'm guessing we all want the experience to be as meaningful as possible. For practical purposes, it is my position, Donald Miller's, that the author of our stories is actually us. Perhaps the single greatest paradigm shift I've had as a human is this idea. I am writing my story, and I alone have the responsibility to shape it into something meaningful. I agree with James Allen, who said in his 1902 book, As a Man Thinketh, man is buffeted by circumstances so long as he believes himself to be the creature of outside conditions. But when he realizes that he is a creative power, and that he may command the hidden soil and seeds of his being out of which circumstances grow, he then becomes the rightful master of himself. What if instead of writing our stories, let me skip on here to keep moving. What if we are much more responsible for the quality of our stories than we previously thought? What if any restlessness we feel about our lives is not in fact the fault of fate, but the fault of the writer themselves, and that writer is us? Ouch, Donald. That hurts, man. What if the broken nature of life is a fact, but the idea we can also create something meaningful in the midst of that brokenness is an equal fact? That's a good question too. None of this can be proven, of course, but does it need to be proven to be a useful paradigm? Also, if I believe the fate has all the power and so I sit neutral as my story wanders aimlessly around the page like it was dictated by a dispassionate imbecile, who should I blame? God? Fate? Steinbeck? It seems to me that blaming myself is the most viable option. While that option may implicate me, it also offers me the most power to do something about it. Regardless of who is writing our stories, it is a useful belief that we are the authors. And it's more than a useful belief, it's a fun belief. What if we get to partner with the fixed elements of life to carve out a little narrative of our own making? We are tired of life. What we're really tired of is the story we are living inside of. Oh, so good. And the great thing about being tired of our life, of our story, is that stories can be edited. Stories can be fixed. Stories can go from dull to exciting, from rambling to focused, and from drudgery to read, to read, to exhilarating to live. So, that's just the beginning of the book. I hope that kind of whets your appetite for this particular title, Donald Miller, Hero on a Mission. It's a powerful book, and it was really helpful for me as I start out on my own mission of launching my own business. So, more to come. Hope you find this helpful. If you want to order this book, the link should be in the notes down there somewhere. Go to Amazon, order it, or anywhere where books are sold. No, I'm not getting paid by Donald Miller to say this. I am just trying to, from one reader to the next, inspire you to pick up a book today. Take care.